Here's a quick and dirty review of Sonic X Shadow Generations 2024. How did they make this? It's incredible, man. It's so damn great. This game includes a remaster of the original Sonic Generations, alongside a whole new Shadow campaign, Shadow Generations. The Sonic Generations portion has been enhanced pretty well with proper settings for graphics and general options, and the inclusion of the drop dash. There's less of a use for it with modern Sonic, but classic benefits from it fairly well. The game defaults the configuration to Frontiers' playstyle, so that boost is on the right trigger. It's a bit weird to get used to at first, but it controls fairly well. Fortunately, you can toggle the original configuration by setting it to legacy mode, so that's nice. There's new collectible chow in each level. They don't do much, but they're there. There's a new red ring counter for the HUD, and most bugs from the PC version have been mostly fixed, and instead brings its own bugs. There was also a digital deluxe version of the game where you could play the game 3 days early, and it includes an adventure skin with a jam skin as a newsletter gift. Really charming to see these two again. The game also includes rewrites for most of the dialogue, although it doesn't really change much about the story itself. In fact, it's so insignificant that they probably should have just left it as is. But in general, it's a harmless change that gives the game a new experience for older fans. So that's everything for Sonic Generations. So now we get to Shadow Generations, the main selling point of the package. Physics and movement have been improved upon drastically. Shadow feels greatly responsive and fun to control, and his Chaos Control homing attack can reach across walls and lasers. Level design is also extremely well done, with countless branching paths and engaging platforming sections to speed through and perfect. And an actually playable Kingdom Valley for once, let's go. There's 2 acts for each stage, with side stages to collect gate keys to progress to the next boss. There's also new moves for Shadow to harness throughout the game. Doom Spears, Doom Blast, Doom Surf, Doom Morph, and Doom Wing. They all work really well, for the most part, and they're integrated perfectly into the level design by using them to access alternate paths and shortcuts. Doom Spear especially has seen a hefty dose of tech implementation, spamming the move to preserve air momentum when needed. Chaos Control makes its grand return in gameplay form, where you either defeat enemies to fill up the energy meter, or find Chaos Capsules to fill it up immediately. When activated, the in-game timer freezes for 5 seconds, so you can do some crazy shortcuts and skips with this in mind. And it's pretty engaging to find the most optimal places to use it. There's also a white space hub world that you can go through to obtain some collectibles and access each level and boss. There's also collectible pages for Gerald's journal, and this alone is fantastic, providing critical details and lore behind Project Shadow. The bosses are great fun too, with some nicely added challenge to boot. Using your Doom powers to take down these beloved bosses is just a fun time. Presentation and spectacle has also seen a hefty boost in quality, feeling much more cinematic and just overall being a joy to watch. Also, the Digital Deluxe pre-order comes with a Terrio skin, and an upcoming Movie 3 DLC stage with Keanu Reeves' voice. That's just awesome. So that's everything gameplay related, and now onto the story. Shadow is first seen confronting with his memories of the Ark 50 years ago, but it's all muddled and starts to squander until a vision of Maria getting shot brings him back to reality. He has a suspicion that Black Doom might be the one behind this tampered memory, so he heads off to find a spacecraft to reach the Ark. Another memory flashes in his mind, of him reflecting on the genetic creation of himself with the black arms, and how he's no different than a mere larva. But Maria is there to give him support and help him on the right track, that who he is as a person is what defines him. Then we cut back to Shadow raiding a gun base to take a spaceship with convenient assistance from Rouge and Omega, and they're ready for takeoff. However, the gun troops aim for fire, until Commander Abe steps in to seize fire. Rouge and Abe discuss about how Shadow could have been talked down into simply asking for permission, but Rouge laments the fact that he isn't one to ask for permission, and that there's only one person who could talk him down: Maria. As Shadow reaches the Ark, flashes of him and Maria race through his mind, about a life that could have been if Maria hadn't died. But he refocuses. That life was taken from him, and he needs to focus on the mission. An hour after he lands on the Ark, Rouge gives him a call wondering when he's going to show up to Sonic's birthday. Yeah, this is happening simultaneously with Sonic Generation. Shadow reassures her that any threat on the Ark must be taken care of, until shortly afterward he finds some sort of disturbance, leading into the first level, Space Colony Ark. Halfway through, Black Doom shows up, revealing that he's the one behind this disturbance, sending Shadow through a trippy level sequence, until he comes back to reality. At the colony's deck, Shadow grabs Tails' fake emerald, until the time meter shows up and sends him into the white space. From here on out, it's up to Shadow to find Doom gears and access and harness Doom's powers, and take down previous foes along the way. Most levels have Black Doom taunting Shadow throughout, with similar trippy sequences to throw him off, but Shadow gets through no problem, focusing on taking him down. Halfway through his mission, he sees someone in danger, and takes out the enemies going after them, but then he realizes it's none other than Maria. She hugs him, but Shadow is simply left in shock, alongside Gerald Robotnik being there too. Shadow immediately senses that something's off, but he has an advantage of potentially saving them and altering their timeline. Black Doom's main goal here is to take back Shadow as his own, and use him to take over time and space. These trippy sequences act as a sort of punishment towards Shadow for denying him again and again. Gerald reveals to Maria that he made a deal with Black Doom many years ago to create Shadow with their Black Arms bloodline to infuse him with Chaos energy, and make him the ultimate life form. However, this comes at a cost, because they're both linked by blood, with Shadow becoming more powerful due to his new abilities. This simultaneously simultaneously makes Black Doom more powerful as well. With this new concern to hand, Shadow makes it his goal to harness his power and use it as his own to take down Black Doom. Midway through, however, Shadow meets up with Sonic, and they have a casual friendly duel between each other, with Shadow even holding back his Doom powers. Sonic takes the win, including the emerald that Shadow had. Rouge steps in to question Shadow on his fumbling defeat, and him claiming that he'll fight him on equal terms or not at all. With Rouge being pretty uptight about him losing the emerald, he reveals that Sonic actually grabbed Tails' fake emerald instead, and that they still have the real one, planning to swap it back once they meet up with Sonic at the end of his journey. Black Doom shows up once again to berate Shadow into joining his army again, but of course Shadow retaliates, and is frustrated towards him. Maria tries to calm him down though. She hates to see Shadow be this upset, that a world with no light is simply darkness, but a shadow can help you lead towards the light, symbolizing her faith in Shadow. Once he obtains the last power, the Doom Wings, Shadow's ready to take down Black Doom, who turns into Devil Doom. Gerald tells him how proud he is of him, while Shadow goes up to Maria, letting her know that he's letting go of his destructive anger, that he'll continue to fight with her wish in his heart to give everyone a chance to be happy. As he gives her a smile, he hits off to take down Devil Doom. This boss fight is awesome as hell, by the way. Then Devil Doom upgrades into Neo Devil Doom, with extra wings and a snake-like neck. They both use Chaos Control to beat each other, but Black Doom takes the upper hand, exclaiming that Shadow will not deny his fate, and that they are the same. But Shadow fights back, and tells him that this is his own destiny to choose, thus finishing him off right then and there. Shadow makes it back with Rouge, giving her the emerald, but Shadow heads back to Gerald and Maria, to where they're both fading back to their timeline. Shadow desperately tries to rectify this, but Maria tells him that she doesn't want to be trapped in one place, and that his friends need his help. But Shadow is distraught. He knows what will happen to them if they return, but Maria assures him that they'll see each other again, and if not, she'll always be in his heart. With Shadow left in sadness, he heads off with Rouge, leaving behind tears from a sacrifice he had to endure, and thus ending the story of Shadow Generations. Overall, this package was simply fantastic all around. A remaster of a beloved game bringing it to a new audience for current platforms, alongside a new, wonderfully crafted and emotionally heart-driven campaign with countless replayability and deep themes of trauma and sacrifice in the story and dialogue. And it's all handled with the utmost respect, quality, and love it deserves. A new golden standard for the Sonic franchise going forward, and I personally can't wait for the next big installment. 9 out of 10. See y'all next time.